And gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook's Eatery. This is episode 554. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Boo! Casey, how are we?
Thoughts on the vlog? Saw you watched it last night.
Yeah, solid.
Go ahead. Be my worst critic.
No, dude, you do great on those things. It's crazy. I don't like looking at my face that long. That's for sure.
You're on there a good bit, my friend.
Don't love that aspect to it.
That's what I told you.
Gym motivation, though. Definitely gym motivation. So, that's what I needed. I needed, some solid gym motivation, and it just was put on a silver platter for me from myself. Who'd have thought? You know? But the wife was laughing, which is good. How did Meredith take it? Was she laughing?
We actually haven't watched it yet.
Really?
I personally, well, I needed a break from it. Like, I need like a good 48 hours, because I've been looking at the same clips for multiple days in a row now.
Sure.
So I need a little bit of a break. But when we finally get around to it, I'm sure that she'll enjoy it in a similar fashion.
Yeah. Well, Paige was stoked that she made it in the beginning of the video. No spoilers, but she was excited about
It's
it.
the first 10 seconds. I don't think you're spoiling anything, but
yeah. But yeah, man, it was real good. Real good.
Thanks, man. Did you like my
I feel like you probably could have made it a lot longer. I feel like it probably could have been a lot longer.
Dude, I
enjoyed it. I think it flew by.
I replied to somebody's comment today. I said I had to leave out so much. I know that
maybe
nobody
we have like a director's cut edition. That's
where I just include full length MVP games that we played. Just
no,
drop them in.
Obviously that stuff had to be shortened. But yeah, I think there's, I don't know. I mean, I think there was a lot of Walmart talk that probably could have been left in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But there was very good comedic timing with like a lot of things, especially like after the last game, and then you know, like immediately flips to you walking in the Walmart parking lot with the TV.
Oh, what a time.
Paige is cracking up. She's like, why is he walking like that?
What a time.
This is what we are.
Is the way that I walk in an attack?
I think there was a funny walk. I will say that I'm not going to try and out you too much here, but Paige is up in arms about.
Oh, I already know.
One of your Walmart purchases, and she's like, surprised that wasn't in the vlog.
Let's go ahead and just put that out there. Okay, real quick before we get into our talk about the National League and the race that is to be, and then some credit cannon segments here. Real quick, the outrage, the faux, I'm just going to call it like it is, the faux outrage from Paige about my taste in bagels is crazy.
It's not the bagels. It's the combination of bagel plus. It's the bagel.
And how many times do I need to explain myself? The chocolate chip bagel with American cheese was not my go-to. That was just a last resort. I had to have something before we left for the airport.
Should never be a resort.
My go-to.
All right, here's what happened. I'll start, and then I'll allow defense. You have your chance for defense.
Okay. All right. And then we got to get into it.
We go to the grocery store. Mans needs eggs because he's like, yo, gotta get some breakfast stuff. And I was like, I'm good on whatever. I can skip breakfast anytime. But you do you. We get eggs. And he's like, should we do like a little breakfast sandwich situation? I was like, I could probably get down on that. I was like, do you want like bacon or any kind of meat on this? You're like, no, I'm just gonna go egg, maybe some cheese.
That's gonna be too much. We
throw
wouldn't
it on
have
a bagel. So I was like, good deal. We get to the bread aisle. And I'm like, we got everything bagels, we got plain bagels. We're kind of looking at the different brands, and you're like, yo, low key, kind of a sneaky pick, the chocolate chip bagel, which is is specifically like, I remember the bag being like the Walmart brand. So it's like it was like a ball on the budget brand, and it was a chocolate chip bagel, and I was like, pause. We're not getting cream cheese, right? And you're like, no. And I'm like, what's going on this bagel? And
Which was
like,
I'm
gonna do egg and American cheese. And I was like, on a chocolate chip bagel.
Now
and you're
that
like,
would have slapped.
No. And you're like, and sometimes in a pinch, when I'm running late for work, I'll sometimes even skip the egg. And I was like,
no, I want my defense. Am I entitled to my defense now?
I don't think your defense is that much better, but please go ahead.
No, it's great. You and Paige are under this assumption that
this isn't a Kraft single, by the way. This isn't some gourmet cheese. This is a Kraft single. Continue.
Kraft singles may as well be gourmet cheese to me. I have the palate of a 12-year-old. But hear me out. What I said was, when I'm in a pinch, I will have a toasted cinnamon raisin bagel with a slice of American cheese.
That's not a good defense.
I'm telling you, dude. Okay, can you promise me this?
Please get in the chat. Please get in the chat and tell me who you agree with.
They're already all over me.
Yes, a chocolate chip bagel with regular plain cream cheese, that works. A Kraft single.
Can you do me a solid here?
Yeah.
Do you remember that time many years ago on this very program where you had me try dill pickle seeds and Sour Patch Kids combined?
Sure.
At once, and you said it sounds disgusting. You're gonna think you're gonna hate it. It's solid. What did I do? I tried it. It was great. I thought you were out of your mind. Do me a favor before we record. Okay, I'll give you. I'll say a week. I won't even say by next episode. A week. I need you to have a toasted cinnamon raisin bagel with a slice of American cheese on it, and tell me that doesn't slap as a snack. I'm not saying like start your day with it. I'm just saying. You can if you want, because I've done it. But have it as like a midday, like an afternoon snack, and tell me that doesn't hit. You think I'm crazy? I'm telling you. Have a Kraft single with the cinnamon raisin toasted bagel.
We got to talk ball. Back to the trip, we pivoted to a chocolate chip bagel.
Which would hey, hand up. Given the resources we had, we probably would have been better off going to cinnamon raisin. I didn't get
better off with a plain. Dog.
That's fine. Yeah, I didn't get cream cheese, which is on me.
Here's a caveat: is that you weren't thrilled about me getting mayo and mustard for our sandwiches, but you.
No, I literally said let's get mustard or let's get mayo, put it in the bag. See in the chat, cinnamon raisins fine, chocolate chips not. That's the difference. That's what I said.
No, an American Kraft single on a cinnamon raisin is just as crazy.
No, it's not.
It's
literally
crazy.
Not.
Raisins and cinnamon and cheese have never swam in the same pool. And
have you ever had a charcuterie board? Have you ever had a charcuterie board ever
with cinnamon?
No, but I'm saying, you have little crackers and variations of crackers that have raisins in them. You have them with cheese. You have them with any variety of toppings.
I get there.
Whatever.
I could get there.
Whatever. I don't need to defend myself. I don't need to defend myself.
You do.
All I'm saying, last comment before we talk ball. We've been going at this for way too long. Is in my mind, chocolate chip bagel with cheese sounds better to me if you include an egg and make it just a full breakfast sandwich. That would pass better than just cheese. I will admit.
One more comment and then I'm done. How many of those 18 eggs did you eat?
How many of those 18 eggs did we eat?
Yeah, I didn't eat them. I said that. 0.
You said you would have them.
Chat, the answer is 0.
You said you would have them. There was a day where I yelled into your room. I was like, yo, you want some eggs? You're like, no, I'm good. And I was like, I don't have the motivation to do this for myself.
4 hours of sleep. I don't want eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, just get Pop-Tarts. I agree. Yeah. We should have just taken the easy route.
We were on that road the whole time. It was easy sandwiches, it was Uncrustables, it was frozen pizza, and then we really pivoted into making some eggs. But all right, shout out Jay. He had a dozen and a half eggs waiting for him, and some Don Julio shots, by the way, because
super chill, by the way. You're talking to Airbnb host.
Yeah.
I messaged him afterwards. I was like, hey man, apologize for leaving all this food in your fridge. Like, feel free to just get rid of it or like enjoy it yourself. We just didn't have the time to get all. And he's like, you all should have had more of the beers that the people left for you guys. And I was like, yeah, Nate tried.
I did. But I hate Corona, but I had to get some banana courage.
Shout out to Jay. Good call on that.
Yeah.
Gotta
shout out to those that are hanging out with us that have seen the vlog, and shout out to those we're 11 minutes into this thing, but shout out
we gotta talk ball.
Shout out to those who are new. You know, maybe we expanded our listening group, our listenership. Is that a word? Listenership? Sure. I'm gonna roll with that.
Yep.
Maybe we expanded our listenership from our Atlanta visit. You know, we were on the grind. We were passing out cards. We were giving out, scanning little QR codes.
Ew.
So, you know, maybe there's some new people hanging out with us, and unfortunately, we may have lost them due to
these last 10 minutes
shopping. Anywho,
I don't think we would have lost them due to my choice of bagel. I think we would have lost them due to your intolerance of my choice of breakfast foods. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway,
Did you have a
Laura knows, like and subscribe.
I was still packing that chocolate chip bagel that you had before we went to the airport. Was there cheese on that?
There was. And for the record, full transparency, it sucked. Walmart bagels never get Walmart bagels.
No, the bagel's not the problem.
No, the bagel absolutely was the problem, dude. The bagel was crumbly. And I'm like, I haven't done anything with this bagel. I'm done talking bagels. We got to talk ball. Less bagels, more ball. Crap. That's what I always say anyway. Anyway, main takeaway, check out the vlog. I really should have included some bagel content in there. But there's some good stuff in there. Last thing on the vlog, did you like my editorial take on my call in my shot? It really added a cinematic touch.
I'm still kind of pissed about my wiffle ball performance, to be honest with you. I need a rematch at some point.
Hey, I was thinking about that the other day though. Let's make that a thing. Even if it's here, like even if we're like, hey, why don't you fly out here like we tried to do a couple years back? Yeah, you fly out here. Maybe we take a postseason trip up to Philly or something.
Well, we're already looking at All-Star ASG 2026 out in Philly next year. We're already making that a.
I'm just saying, like, even an event that's like lesser scale, less of an event, and even if it's something low key, we still do a derby or something.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I don't want to open this bag of chips now. I guess we can get into current events. I'll ask later.
Well, that'll about do it. We'll see you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want me to ask, I can.
Make it super quick. We got to talk ball.
All right. It's just an opinion thing because I told you that, like, I went to the All-Star game, the Home Run Derby in Denver. And after you do one, you're like, cool experience. I don't know if I necessarily need to do it again. That's my opinion. Do you kind of feel / share the same sentiment?
Yeah, and I would be fine. I mean, we're doing. I think our plan is to do WBC next year, but I think in terms of the All-Star week,
electric.
I'll do that every time. I don't. Yeah. That's a more than a once in a lifetime thing if you can. But I think the only reason I'd be intrigued with next year's All-Star game is just being in Philly.
Because it's in Philly. Yeah.
You could fly out here. We could easily drive up. That would be a total game changer, being able to drive from here and
we got some
more flexibility.
We got some listeners out there in the PA too. So
oh yeah, man.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Let's talk NL.
Let's close the book here. No. Let's talk National League. Nate, the National League race. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and there's probably people going, you're really calling it a race and it's still late July? Yeah. we know what the American League is, but I think we're getting to a point where I think we're starting to see what the National League is, and it's interesting. It's real interesting. I'm looking at the standings right now. The Milwaukee Brewers, with the best record in baseball at 61-41, 20 games over 500. They've won 13 of their last 15. They just wrapped up a 5-1 road trip. They've won 5 straight series, and as I mentioned, are the best team in baseball. You pair that with their central counterparts, the Chicago Cubs, 60-42, just a game behind them.
Right.
You've got the Phillies, 58-43. The Mets, 59-44. The Dodgers leading the West by, I'm going to go ahead and call it a slim margin of only 4.5.
For their standards, yeah.
For their standards, that's a slim margin to be leading by. Padres in second at 55-47. But
at the time of this recording.
But this National League, man, it's getting interesting.
It really is.
And I really wanted to focus on the Brewers here for just a moment, if you would.
They deserve it.
They deserve it. As I mentioned, they've won 13 over their last 15. They are on an absolute heater, doing it almost exclusively from the mound. Is it fair to say that? I think offensively, they've been middle of the road, middle of the pack. Over that 15 game span that I mentioned, the heater that they're on, they've got the 18th best team OPS over that span. However, their team ERA of 2.42 is second in all of baseball in that span. Second only to, you want to take a guess?
Phillies
aren't even in the top 5.
Really? Just keep hearing about their staff all the time. I don't know.
My Boston Red Sox.
That's kind of crazy. Are we cherry picking a little bit?
At a 2-3. No, I'm looking at this through the lens of the 15 game stretch that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
So having a great couple of weeks, those staffs. But Nate, they're the best team in baseball right now. Do we think this holds up? Not saying best team in baseball by the end, but do we think, is it time that we take the Brewers seriously?
Yeah, man, for sure. I absolutely think we need to. I think, to your point of what we were talking about offensively, I don't think it's bad necessarily. They're just kind of lacking that 1 to 2 big boppers in the lineup. And going back to last episode where we were doing our trade predictions, I'm really kind of bummed about not agreeing with your pick of Josh Naylor. I feel like that's just like a really easy move for them. It's very out there and it kind of makes sense. It gives them a little bit of juice in that lineup that is much needed.
You were a big Andrew Vaughn truther in response to that.
No, I was just kidding. But as far as the pitching goes, look, I mean, Freddie Peralta, certified gangster. Let's just come out and say it. Certified stud. Obviously,
I got some numbers for
Peralta coming into the scene. Like, I would like to see some. I would like to see some offense added at the deadline, and it doesn't. I don't think we need to get crazy with our expectations. The Brewers are going to be the Brewers. I just don't think that they can afford to necessarily miss, because this division, it hasn't been just about this hot streak. It has been a little bit about the Cubs scuffling a little bit. And you know the Cubs are going to do what they need to do at the deadline, especially with the added pressure of having Kyle Tucker and wanting to, potentially convince him to come back long term. Like, I really want the Brew Crew to get in there and get their hands dirty at this deadline.
I think we need to caution listeners, though, like you said, to not have too high of expectations when it comes to Brewers, though, because it's at the end of the day, we're talking about the Brewers. This is what they do. They find ways to stay in the conversation, to position themselves to, at the very least, make a go at the postseason, and then they just hope for the best when that time inevitably comes, if and when it comes.
Rays, kind of like the Royals of last year, the Tigers of last year.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you just, it's tough, man. It's hard for you to not get emotional about it because you're like, I want to see this fan base. I want to see that stadium. I want to see, like, postseason in Milwaukee's fun. It's always been fun. It's always been electric. Like, you can take it all the way back to that CC trade. Like, it's always had that earning, like that yearning from your fan base to really pop off. And I don't think they're necessarily that team that's always going to be able to attract free agents. They're obviously not that team that's willing to fork out a ton of cash. They got to do it differently. And that means they really need to, like, strike well at deadlines. And I think this is a perfect deadline to do it.
Yeah, you mentioned Freddie Peralta. Brandon Woodruff's another guy that's been very good since coming off the IL.
How many starts has he had since coming back?
If these numbers are correct, he's thrown 16 and a third. He's got an ERA of 1.65. Again, this is since coming off the IL. ERA of 1.65. Hitters or batters are hitting 155 against him.
I think it's 3 starts.
Got a 2.85 FIP, 23 Ks, and no walks. So excellent with the control off the IL, which you love to see. And then Quinn Priester is another name that I feel like
good name
needs some more attention. Very good baseball name. But let me pull up his numbers here. Quinn Priester has been excellent as of late. Let's see here. Let's look at this game log. So minus a couple fart starts, one of which being on June 22nd and the other being on July 4th against the Marlins. Really going back to May 24th. Yeah. Going back to May 2nd, he hasn't given up more than he's given up more than 3 runs once since May 2nd, and that was on the July 4th start where he gave up 4. Guy has been nothing but consistent for the Brewers in that rotation. Which, again, that's what you expect from this team. But to your point, and what we're both saying, you need some pop. Otherwise, it's going to be the same song and dance.
It's true. I think the non-household names only take you so far. When it comes to the postseason, it comes to big moments. And I don't remember the stats. They rattle it off every postseason. But it's almost always whoever out-homers the other team really, truly makes the biggest run. You need some pop. And I think there are some names out there that can be a budgetary move. But it's cool to see, like, Christian Yelich kind of like under the radar, solid veteran. He's sniffing an 800 OPS. Like, I think that's the best you're going to get out of him at this stage in his career. So, sure. I mean, that's good. And Jackson Chourio, like, hasn't even really come on the scene quite yet this year. Little bit of like a still figuring out down year. But you have other guys, man. It's just same with like William Contreras, by the way. But you have guys like, Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick and, Corbin, or is it Corbin Durbin? What's his first name?
Caleb
Durbin. After that move with the Yanks, like that has been a somewhat of a solid move. Like they just are going to play very good baseball. And I don't want to beat a dead horse by saying that, but there are teams that are like that. And, you see when you have a good manager, when you have guys that are just going to play ball the right way, that goes a long way. And I wish some of these bigger market teams would pay more attention to that. Cough, cough, New York Yankees. Like, just play clean baseball and you can see what kind of success that brings you. But you still have to sprinkle in some stardom and some big moment stuff. And I think that's why I really go back to your pick of Josh Naylor. Like, I really like that pick because talk about a guy who doesn't shy away from the moment and is very much a postseason, put me in the spotlight kind of guy. And you'd be surprised of what that can do for a team and what that can really spring. So
let me ask
I'm
you
looking
this.
at it, but I need more.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And I'm not going to hold you to it. This is more of just for the sake of the exercise. Today, July 23rd, what NLCS matchup would intrigue you most with what we've seen to this point in the season? Obviously, not knowing what the deadline holds for us just yet.
Yeah.
But based on what we've seen right now, what NLCS matchup would intrigue you most?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like a basic answer.
Are the Brewers in this?
They're not. I think it's fun to see. It's cool to see. I think I need a little bit more to like truly fully buy in. I need a really good deadline. I think of matchups. In my head, I want to see like who's the best on the mound versus who's the best at the plate.
Okay, so can we start with the Phillies then? Because in terms of what you're seeing on the mound,
it's incredible what they're doing on the mound.
Disgusting.
And their staff is just so deep. It's so deep. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it sounds basic, but I'd probably have to say Phillies Dodgers.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I thought you were maybe going to take the Padres Dodgers route. I was going to say I haven't seen enough from the Padres to excite me or to warrant wanting them in an LCS matchup. But the Phillies, the Phillies, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting those vibes from 2022, 2023. I'm sort of getting those again, which is good. I've been wanting that for some time.
You got to be excited for it. I don't think they need a ton at the deadline. They need bullpen help, and there's plenty out there to get that done.
Which, by the way, I got a comment in response specifically to mine, because you had Kyle Finnegan going to who did you have Kyle Finnegan going to?
Cubs.
Was it the Cubs?
I got a graphic up. Let me look.
I got a comment in response to my pick of Kyle Finnegan going to the Phils, and I had somebody say the Phillies are going to do better than Kyle Finnegan. So it got me thinking. I'm like, do we think the Phillies are going to be that aggressive for a closer? Like, do we think the Phillies are going to be in the mix for a Duran or someone else in the mix?
Yeah, I mean, you got to assume so, just because, what we were talking about earlier with Jose Alvarado not being, eligible for the postseason.
Right.
And to be fair, we did record and make these predictions about a day before they signed David Robertson. And I'm not going to sit here and say that really moves the needle for me.
No.
Just because, no disrespect, but, David Robertson at this point in his career. I think they need to really just kind of double down on the bullpen. I think that's pretty much it. And little outfield help. That's all they really need. I mean, that rotation goes a long, long way. Long way.
Yeah,
I'd be terrified to face them in the postseason. I really would, because of that rotation. And again, you have guys that are just like born for the moment in Bryce Harper and Schwarber that are, and Trey Turner is going to have some insane base running slide that and Bryson Stott does, Bryson Stott shows up too,
shy away.
Yeah, dude, you just have names, and Castellanos finds a way to get hot. You just have names. I'm not saying they're the most complete team, but they've all been there before, and this is probably the best rotation they've had with this group. I'd be fearful of them,
dude. And this is without Nola giving you really anything.
Nola's a shell of himself at this point. Yeah.
If you could even get a fraction of what he's capable of giving you later in the season into the postseason, should he be in a state where he can give you any value and mix the postseason roster, that's insane.
They're at a point where if you're playing a 5-game set in NLDS and it's game 4, you don't have to necessarily pivot to a Wheeler. You can kind of go towards the back end of that rotation and save. All it takes is that one extra starter that the rest of the field doesn't have, and that's what you're looking at with the Phillies. So I think the Mets are obviously going to do things at the deadline. They need starting pitching bad. They need a center fielder, and that lineup can get scary at times too. So that's there. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. The NL it's very deep. It's very exciting. I think the Cubs are going to be a vibe. I'm excited for the NL more than I have been in a long time, because we're AL guys. We don't hide that. But I'm looking forward to the NL postseason, man.
It's early. I understand that. But a Phillies Cubs NLCS?
Sick.
You want to talk about postseason baseball?
Yeah.
Between the bank and Wrigley?
A little chilly. A little windy.
Boy.
Turtlenecks everywhere.
Oh, boy.
The mock turtlenecks everywhere. I'm super in on that.
I need it. I think I just talked myself into that being
that'd be sick, man.
My hope and dream for the NL side of things.
That'd be sick.
Last thing on the NL before we move on. Shout out Phils and Cubbies, the Schwarber Bowl.
Yeah, true.
Big fan. Last thing on the NL before
hot dogs versus cheesesteaks. We could, yeah.
There's no losers in that matchup.
There's really not.
There's no losers in that matchup. I love that. I love that for us as baseball fans.
Yeah.
Last thing on the NL real quick. The Dodgers. I know we talked, what was it, a couple weeks ago at this point, where they hit a little bit of a skid, it's nothing to really worry about long term, but is floundering too strong of a word? Because they've won 60 games, so I'm not trying to discredit what they've done, especially with the completely torn apart staff.
Can we talk about, not to pat myself on the back too much, but can we talk about how your boy told you to hammer the under during our hot takes and predictions episode?
Yeah, but what was the? I'd be more prone to giving you
It was
credit.
105 and a half games.
Is that what we said?
That's what I think I had FanDuel Sportsbook pulled up when I was pulling up the lines. I said hammer the under.
Oh, well, if it was, yeah, I'll give you the under. I'll give you the credit for that. That was a good call.
105 games. Like they're not going to win 106 games. I'm sorry. I don't know. Floundering's tough. I feel like Mookie Betts, man, is just like got off to a really, really tough start with all the sickness and stuff and the weight loss. And I mean, he's just not himself this year.
Yeah, but Mookie is fortunate in the sense that the rotation has been absolutely decimated. So you can sort of hide behind that a little bit as the lead narrative when it comes to the Dodgers. But it doesn't help when you have, you know, your MVP sort of playing as a shell of himself. So
and I do think that we've talked about it before. I think they're going to probably win the deadline because that's what they do. They win the offseason, they win the deadline. They have such a logjam and so many pieces that they're able to move that are big league ready, plus prospects. They're always willing to push the chips in. They're going to do what the Dodgers do. They're going to have a big deadline. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a big name, a big starter or two added to that rotation. It's coming.
Just because they can.
They have all of the pieces to be able to do it.
Crazy. You're not wrong though. You're not wrong. Absolutely not wrong. But let's talk about names. Let's talk about some dudes that have been on a tear. You ready for this?
I don't know. Buckle up, people.
I believe this is this has to be his second appearance, right? I think he's made an appearance once already. But returning to the infamous credit cannon segment, Nick Kurtz.
Brian.
Nick Kurtz. Been a minute since we heard that. Nick Kurtz, over the last 15 days,
I think it is a return.
Hitting .462 with 6 jacks, 14 ribbies, and an OPS of 1697. I think
that's a big old number.
You could probably pinpoint his turnaround to the day, the hour, probably, dare I say minute, that I dropped him in fantasy.
That's normally how it goes.
That is how it goes. I hung on to him as long as I could, and I said, Nick, love you, pal, but you're taking up a slot on my team. And, we just can't have that when we're trying to make a playoff push here, which I'm very much in the thick of. I'm fighting for my life out here.
Yeah.
And just couldn't manage. And then, of course, the day that I drop him, I think, is when things really started to click for him offensively.
That's how it goes, pal. We all have moves we're not proud of.
Good on Nick Kurtz. According to Baseball America, Kurtz didn't homer in his first 16 big league games. However, once he went deep for the first time on May 13th, has not looked back. Since then, he hasn't gone more than 6 games without a homer. And his longest home run drought since July began is 2 games.
Nice.
So, dude's crushing. Another dude is crushing. Salvador Perez over the last 15 days, hitting 400 even, 7 homers, 10 RBIs, and an OPS of 1430.
The ageless wonder.
It's crazy. What is he? 35?
Could be 84. I don't know.
I think I saw it today. 35, I believe. 35. Yep.
At the risk of sounding like a homer, by the way, there's been a lot. I'm not hating on Sal Perez. I love Sal Perez. I I think the amount of people saying he's like a no doubt Hall of Famer is just kind of crazy to me.
It's
I
really
saw that
interesting.
side by side between him and Jorge Posada.
Yeah, I saw that today too. I was like, glad you brought that up.
Yikes. Yeah.
Very, very shocking.
Yeah. So you're like, I don't know. And
Why is that?
Jorge got bounced in the first year he was on the ballot for not getting enough votes.
Right. Why do we think that is? Why do we think that's the narrative with Sal Perez? Because I feel like I'm guilty of it myself. Where I'm like, oh yeah,
I have
for sure.
I have been in the past up until I saw that graphic, and I was like, yo, I think I'm out. I think I'm out on like immediately being a Hall of Famer. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the Royals effect. It's the lack of. I mean, no disrespect. It's the lack of legends that have come out of that uniform and entered into the Hall conversation. Except Bobby Witt, obviously. That's a layup. That's a layup down the road. But yeah, I don't know.
You want to go? You want to go to Cooperstown for that?
When Bobby's there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I'll be down.
I'll grow my hair out. Rock a mullet. If he's still doing, you think he's still doing a mullet 15 years down the road?
I could see him taking the Bryce route where he cleans it up a little bit in his older age. Sort of goes with a buzz. Smart. But who knows what'll be in then? And maybe
could cycle back.
Maybe mullets will be in. You got to remember, Bobby still he's a young buck still. He'll be around for a minute.
It's absolutely crazy that the mullet ever came back in general. No disrespect to Sal Perez. Just an interesting conversation. That's all. Good couple weeks though. Keep it up.
Hey, the Royals need all the offense they can get.
They really do.
Some are saying it's over for the Royals, but
it's over. I'm all out. I'm all done. It's over. Let's move on.
Well, let's check here. What's the latest? They're 3 games under, 10 games back in the division. The division's out. Division's out.
That the AL is just super light, but
which is why I'm saying it's a little premature. And I'm cautioning you from saying or doing something you're going to regret as it pertains to our young Bobby Witt's Kansas City Royals.
We do need to have a little nickname for Mr. Witter. I don't know what it is, because it's like Bryce is our age and we keep calling him our sweet young prince.
Our sweet young prince.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, do you like
our age?
Do you like my my inclusion of my double reference of the sweet young prince in the vlog?
Yeah. Paige was laughing, and then when I zoomed in on the price, and you were like, "It's not enough, honestly."
Actually, I meant what I said. I'd pay double. I think that's what it's worth, minimum. Anywho's, no disrespect to Sal Perez, but to your point, having a great couple of weeks, and as I mentioned, with the Royals fighting for their postseason lives. What did I say? 4 games back as of this very second. They need all the help they can get. Another team that's not necessarily, I won't say is fighting for their postseason lives, but a team that, can we say, has been playing better ball as of late?
Better ball.
We'll just say surprising ball. The Miami Marlins. Bro, the Miami Marlins, I don't know if you've checked. They're only 5 under.
They're not that bad.
I mean, I know the Braves. That's what I was going to say. I know the Braves have been the Braves, but they're still the Braves, if that makes sense. Like if you're tracking.
It sounds like a good T-shirt.
The Braves have been the Braves we know in 2025, but at the end of the day, they're still the Braves. Right. I think most people would track with me there.
Yeah.
And given that, 4 back in the win column from the Marlins. But I think we can credit one Kyle Stowers. All-star Kyle Stowers to you and to me. over the last 15 days, hitting 429 with 6 homers, 15 ribs, and an OPS of 1562. Forgive me, I don't have the source from where I pulled this. But there has not, as it pertains to Kyle Stowers, there has not been a more productive player in baseball over the last month than Stowers. He leads in WRC plus 261, F4 2, on base 457, and slug 897. And that's over the last month. That's beyond even the initial span of the last 15 days that I mentioned. So good on Stowers, really, really settling into his own down there in Miami. And I've even heard possible trade piece.
No.
It's been floated out there. Whether I agree.
It'd be real dumb.
Hey, real quick, I'm just seeing this in the chat. Let's cool it with the Rich Hill slander. As it pertains to the Royals, Jake in the chat, Rich Hill took them out for the Royals. Pretty sure he only gave up one, if I'm not mistaken. We still have to touch on that here in a minute, but
desperate times, they out. Like Jake said,
gives up one, and you're saying that's not good enough, Rich Hill.
If this is where you're turning to, today's Jamie Moyer.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Next up, the aforementioned Phillies. Christopher Sanchez, since June 19th, is 4-0 with an ERA of 1.22 and 46 strikeouts across 6 starts during that span.
Man,
according to OptaStats, Christopher
not an all-star.
Talk about disrespect.
Sore subject.
According to OptaStats, Christopher Sanchez is one of 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball to have a 7-start span with an undefeated record, a sub 1.5 ERA, 50-plus innings pitched, 50-plus strikeouts, fewer than 5 walks, and no more than 1 home run allowed. The others, Greg Maddux and Clayton Kershaw.
Very decent company. Very, very decent.
On the season, Christopher Sanchez is sporting an ERA of 2.40 with a whip of 109 across 124 innings. He's 9-2 with 134 Ks to just 32 walks.
I mean, that's ace stuff. They literally are rolling out 2 aces. That's an ace on most other staffs.
Who am I missing? It's Wheeler, Sanchez, and then who's like the third head to that monster?
Luzardo.
Was it Luzardo? Why am I blanking? Well, Luzardo has looked better as of late. I don't know if you've seen, but he hit that. He had that run of, I think it was a few rough starts, but has since turned it around.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with the cornrows. Did you see that? That was.
Yeah, I mean,
that was.
Oh, cool. Ranger Suarez.
Ranger Suarez.
Yeah,
Suarez.
What am I
Ranger
saying?
Suarez.
Ranger Suarez. Yeah. Obviously, traded him to you in fantasy. Yeah, man, that rotation, specifically this year. I know these guys have had good to great years. You know, maybe scattered throughout over the last, but they haven't all aligned this way, and maybe ever.
Correct. And I think that's why, like, you got to kind of look at, and I'm not saying this is like a lockdown name by any means, but going back to the comment that we heard of like, oh, they're going to do a lot better than Kyle Finnegan at the deadline. It's like, well, you got to remember that a couple of these names, when you look at guys that are getting starts, like there's a legitimate conversation that Aaron Nola could potentially slide to the pen come postseason. You don't need him. If he's not performing, like, that's a weapon that you can add to the pen. A Taijuan Walker. Like, these are names that, like, can eat up innings as long as you get to the postseason, and then you can slide them into the bullpen, and you'd be surprised how much of a value that brings for innings that need to be eaten up. And you'd be surprised what starters are capable of when they know they don't have to go more than 2 or 3 or even 1 or 2. That's all you need from me. Watch this.
Right. Or even in this, and we've seen this play out in the postseason before. If the series if whatever series they're in at any point in time goes deep, and you need like a quote unquote spot start from a guy that you didn't originally have penciled into the script, but at series start, to be able to look at a guy like Aaron Nola, be like, yeah, can you just give us a few innings to get us going here as we sort of crawl to the finish line? That's a crazy asset to have in the back pocket.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
So, like, as much as you can sit here and say, yeah, they need to do a lot to help out that bullpen, you got to remember those guys are going to float back there because they are A-okay with those 4 starters in Wheeler, in Sanchez, in Suarez, and Luzardo. That's just fine.
That's going to be scary in October.
That's
all I can say. Matthew Boyd, bang, 6-0 since June 14th, 6-0 with an ERA of 102, 38 strikeouts in 7 starts. Hasn't allowed a run in 23 straight innings. Matthew Boyd.
Excuse me. That's actually kind of crazy. That can't be. Is that the same guy? Not the same Matthew Boyd?
My God, you mean that's the same guy? Yeah,
Dang,
that is the Matthew Boyd.
That's nice.
I've said this before, but I'm a big fantasy. I'm a big fantasy baseball guy. And just looking at the points that he's put up since like the middle of June, 19, 13, 20, 18, 22, 28, 24. That's, if you knew nothing else about baseball, but you knew fantasy baseball, that's pretty good. Pretty good guy to have.
It's what you need.
Pretty good guy to have in your rotation. Another guy that you really would like to have in your rotation this year, Nick Pivetta, since June 25th, 3-0 with an ERA of 0.57, 36 strikeouts in 5 starts. Dude,
you know the man.
I apparently don't know the man because
I remember going back. When this happened, and you were like,
I know.
We know who he is. They are who we thought they were. That was very much your vibe about him.
My vibe was we know who this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently we don't know who this guy is because as of right now, Nick Pivetta on the year, it's got a 2.81 with a whip of 1 flat, 127 strikeouts to just 30 walks.
Shazam!
10-2 for the San Diego Padres.
Fathers. Yeah, that's nice with it. That allows you to entertain Dylan Cease conversations, which, by the way, have apparently
intensified.
Yeah.
With the Cubs, did I see today? The Cubs?
Cubs, Yanks, and then one more team. I think Mets, maybe?
Okay, let's be serious. The Cubs.
Well, that was the official rumor. I don't know. I hate my team. I hope they do nothing. I hope everyone gets fired. So
okay,
that's where I'm at.
Well, Boone just got tossed tonight, so you're one step closer. I guess.
Trying to spark up the boys. Never works.
Speaking of firing up the boys, I can't hear that now and not think of Teixeira in MVP 2005 in our World Series, charging the mound in the 9th, down 1, just trying to fire up the boys.
His AB was done. He's not providing anything on the bases.
That's a great point of view. I hadn't considered. That's good. Check out the vlog. You'll know exactly what we're talking about.
For sure, that was. Was that on purpose? Did you beat him on purpose? Was there a
No,
reason for
remember I was trying. It was a 1-run game, and I was trying to put him on. Oh, did I not include that clip right before where I was like, "Is this?"
I don't remember.
Okay, I said something like, "I'm gonna click this, and it's either gonna walk him or hit him," and I was like, "Yep, I just hit him," and all of a sudden you're like, "I'm gonna charge him out," and then he just takes off, gets tossed, and then Tejada gets tossed. It was a mess.
I mean, that's what baseball's missing.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the vlog. You'll know what we're talking about. By the way, do you remember? Did my I don't think my big thick Sidney Ponson reference made it in, did it?
I don't think it did. No.
I think I clipped that. It's a shame.
I think we called somebody thick.
CC.
Dude, you were making fun of somebody's
CC.
head.
Oh yeah, that got in there.
Whoever
too.
that was.
I couldn't tell you. I was too worried about his head.
Yeah.
Didn't even catch the name. But going back to what we're saying, talking about firing up the boys, Nick Lodolo is trying to do what he can do to fire up the boys. In his 4 starts since July 5th, he's 3-1 with an ERA of 1.61 with 27 strikeouts. And just today, threw a complete game against the Nationals. CG shut, by the way. 9 innings, 0 runs, 8 Ks, 4 hits, 105 pitches. It was his first career complete game and shutout.
I could see future Dodger, Nick Lodolo. I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like that just makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know why. Just, just feels right.
Yeah. It's good. That's a good call. I'm gonna have to clip that and we can come back to this.
Yeah.
Closing the book here. Closing the book. We already mentioned his name. Don't put any disrespect on it. Rich Hill, at age 45, becomes the oldest player in the major leagues. That's it. Becomes the oldest player in the major leagues. I thought there was more to this nugget. It just says becomes the oldest player in the majors with his start against the Cubs for the Royals.
Exciting stuff.
The oldest player to start a game since May 27th, 2012, when a guy you already mentioned on this podcast, Jamie Moyer, threw his final game with Colorado at age 49.
Tells you.
I feel like if social media was more of a thing back in 2012, Jamie Moyer's legacy at age 49 would have carried on much longer.
Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of baseball, and I think that's the beauty of like just men conversations. Have you seen those clips that are just like you just hung out with your best friend for 48 hours? What'd you do? You're like, I don't know. We just put an entire starting roster out. First name starting at R. Like that's like what we do. But like that's how Jamie Moyer lives. That's how he survives. You know what I mean? And I think that's exactly where he belongs in a very poetic way.
I couldn't have said that more beautifully. Well done. But as you're saying that, I was thinking, I was like, remember how last offseason we did those drafts? We were just doing a bunch of drafts this past offseason.
Yeah.
A draft that we need to do is some variation of like a random generator that forces us to name the first player that comes to mind based on a specific criteria, whether it's position or first letter of first name or something like that, and see whose random first gut instinct team is better than whose.
Well, have you seen the game? I like that. Have you also seen the game where you just go back and forth and you'll name a name and then like the first letter of the last name of the guy you name has to be the first letter of the first name, and then you just do that back and forth. Those are nice. I'm not quick on my feet though. I'm not quick on my feet.
That's what makes it fun. No, that's what makes it fun. Or for my version, your version obviously different, but for my version, you're supposed to not have time to think.
Yeah, as long as there's no clock or buzzer, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, it gets
the countdown. I don't like that. I don't like that sound. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan.
You don't like that?
No.
couple other items here before we get out of here. Eric Fetty DFA'd. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten.
I didn't realize it either.
Dude.
When I saw that, I was like, I thought it was a decent. He was kind of like a spot start in fantasy for a little bit.
Yeah, he was. He got a little nugget here for you to just put it into perspective. Since pitching his first ever complete game shutout back on May 9th against the Nationals, he went 0-7 with 5 no decisions and a 6.38 ERA over a 12-start stretch.
Yeah, it's tough.
Which, like, obviously not good, but I don't know. I feel like there's other guys around the league that should be getting DFA'd if that's the threshold or that's the requirement for DFA, you know?
What was the corresponding move? Did they have somebody coming off the
they
IL or bringing someone up?
No, they brought somebody up. I can't. Somebody from Memphis.
Yeah, I could see that. There's also always like a
Andre Granillo. Andre Granillo.
Let's go, Andre. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It sounded like you were going to say something there. That's why I was giving you the floor.
No.
No. Okay.
Just good. Let's go, Andre.
The last item here. I meant to confirm this with my wife before we got on, just to make sure it was doable. But plan for Sunday Night Baseball.
Right. I forgot to confirm as well.
We're trying to do. If you're familiar with what we've been doing to this point in the season, we try to pick a Sunday Night Baseball stream once a month. I think we've done 2 or 3. I think 3 at this point. 2, maybe just 2.
I think just 2.
This will be our third one. This will be our third. This Sunday, July 27th, 7 p.m. Mets versus Giants. If you're interested in keeping score, learning how to keep score, Nate once again will be leading the way. He'll be showing us all the tips and tricks that you need to know to keep score. So this will be our third installment of that learning to keep book series, which will be great. I'm looking forward to that. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2, minus the fact last time we did it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about, is that like we may have a trade that goes down during the stream. We could also have another scenario where it like messes up our book again, because maybe someone gets traded on one of these teams.
True.
So we could have a little dugout watch during the stream. Which, by the way, I'm putting you on the spot with it. Maybe we should have a conversation about a deadline recording next week instead of Wednesday. I got the Brandon Lake concert, by the way, so I gotta do it basically right as like the deadline's kind of coming to an end.
Oh, are you for real?
I think it ends at 6 p.m.
July 31st, 6 p.m. Yeah, Eastern.
Yeah, so maybe we do it like right as that's hop on like 5:30 Eastern. And then as trades are like trickling in, we can make sure we make note of them.
Oh yeah, we can do that. But before that time comes, Sunday Night Baseball, learn to keep score if you're interested. Yeah. And even if you already know how to keep score, or you're just not interested in learning to keep score, but you want to hang out with fellow baseball fans, including Nate and myself, just want to watch some ball because you love ball. We'd like
seeds.
To eat some seeds. We'd like to think that. Shout out Chinook. We'd like to think that you love ball because you're listening to us and we love ball. Plan to join us. We'll probably hop on. I think our plan last time, or what we ended up doing, was hop on, a little bit ahead of time.
Minutes early, yeah.
Yeah, just to get your books squared away. So if you don't have a book, get a book. They're they're relatively affordable on Amazon, I think. I think that's where I got mine that you recommended. If you need a tip, I'm looking at it right now. It's the Rawlings Deluxe Scorebook for baseball and softball. It's called The Big Book.
It's like $18 or something like that.
Yeah, for the use you'll get out of it, relatively affordable. So
a lot of games in there.
So yeah, make plans to join us for that. But other than that, that's all I really got.
I need you to settle an argument for me.
We got.
You don't need to sing it, but I need you to recite the Beans song that you heard when you were a kid. Because there was a different version out there that I did not grow up with.
I'm afraid I don't have any clue as what you're talking about.
Come on, you're like beans, good for your heart. You never heard that one? What?
If I did, it's probably maybe it's repressed or I just forgot about it. I don't know.
That's crazy. Well, a little story time. I made Mexican food the other day. I made beans, and I was farting a lot, and so
Great.
And Paige was like, a lot of heaters like that. So I was telling her, I was like, they're good for you. Farts are good for you. It's a natural part of life. And so are beans. She's like, beans aren't good for you. See, this is what I was alluding to. I grew up with beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. The more you fart, the better you feel. Let's have beans with every meal. That's the song.
Crazy.
That's the song that I grew up with. But she's like, no, that's not the song. And I don't know, because when you Google beans song, it's totally different lyrics. It's like the something toot. It's
oh yeah.
fart,
I just pulled it up on Wikipedia. Beans, the musical fruit. Crazy.
Not
beans,
a fruit. Are they?
Let's check.
Beans aren't a fruit.
Beans are not fruits. I don't know why it says this on Wikipedia.
My song's already better.
Anyway, I pulled up the beans song on Wikipedia. The lyrics are as follows. Beans means the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat your beans with every meal.
See, mine's a slight variation, which we don't know if beans are good for your heart or not, but
it also says,
I do know that beans aren't a fruit.
It also says another alternate version includes beans are good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. The more you fart, the better it feels. Beans should be served at every meal.
I don't like that. I like the let's have beans with every meal.
Yeah.
But that's the version I grew up with. And so that's why I was hoping you could settle.
Hold the phones. A
for me.
variant documented by Iona Opie, an English folklorist, is as follows. Beans make you fart. Beans are good for your heart. Apple crumble makes you rumble. Custard powder makes it louder.
That's a tough meal. What's custard powder?
I don't know, but mixed with beans, not a good result.
It's a bad mix. So I
Crazy.
guess I don't know. I mean, because when I tried to Google mine, I had to scroll a little bit to find my song. Her song popped up right away, and I didn't realize that was the more popular song. But they're not a fruit, and I don't like saying toot. I'm a grown man. I fart. Clip that.
All right. Yeah, no. We know too much about one another at this point. So let's call it there. Check out the vlog, as I mentioned. Crazy sidetrack. I don't know why you decided to end with this, but I mean, I just
had an argument that I needed to settle
with yourself,
which you didn't help with.
Yeah, I was gonna say with yourself because I'm not privy to this.
Yeah, go back to your chocolate chip bagels with Kraft
I was gonna
singles. Talk about something that'll make you fart.
I gotta figure this out, man. I gotta find people that understand what I'm saying. I need them to try. Again, this is my closing thought. Try a cinnamon raisin bagel toasted. Put that thing in the toaster and throw a piece of cheese on there. I'm telling you, it has to be American.
To me.
It has to be American.
It's crazy to me that your counter to this argument was, you ever had a charcuterie board? As if Kraft singles are served on charcuterie boards all the time.
No, but you're also like, whoa, bread and cheese and raisins don't go together. I'm like, they literally do.
Get out of here, bro. I was running late for work today, so I took a bite out of Velveeta.
Whatever. Hey, how about the Yankees try and win a game for once?
They can't. They make 6 errors every game, and I think the official score is just a lot nicer than me.
Whatever. I'm done.
Didn't you guys just get swept by Philly?
I think we put out the win tonight, didn't we? I
Did
can't
you?
see it because I'm blacked out for some reason. I think because it's on ESPN, which I can't.
Oh, it's tied 6-6.
Oh,
Bottom
boy.
9.
Oh,
Turn
boy.
that game on.
I got to get on that. Great time to get out of here. Folks, if you're listening, if you're watching, do me this favor. I'll give you a week. And if you're feeling ambitious, stop. If you're feeling ambitious,
write-off.
if you're feeling ambitious before next episode, even on Sunday, before Sunday, cinnamon raisin bagel, toasted American cheese. Thank me later. It's a good snack. Anyway, that's all I got.
I'd like for you to provide some type of guarantee for that.
That's all I got.
Well, stay away from Trader Joe's pinto beans and don't go chasing curveballs.
I love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.